In this video, I'm going to teach you how you can quit your job and work for yourself in 6 to 12 months. And you might be thinking, is this going to be like every other video that tries to teach me how to start my own business? Well, I promise you it's going to be a lot different because I have nothing to sell you at the end of this. I just want to help you learn how to do this because this is something that I'm passionate about and it's something that changed my life. Now, who am I making this video for? Guys, I'm making this for you if this type of shit pisses you off. You see this picture and you're like, I don't want that for my life. You're probably in a situation like this right now if you're watching, or you wouldn't have bothered clicking on this title. You're working some job that you're not passionate about. Maybe you're an hourly employee and you're in retail, or maybe you're working for $50K per year in some corporation working a soul-killing job, and when you get your check back after taxes, you're like, geez, this is all I got. I can barely afford rent. And you're just tired of that shit. You're tired of things like this. An employer coming to you and saying, congrats, we're giving you a 2% raise. Like, what the hell is that? That shit just boils my blood. Seriously, the idea that I can work my ass off for a year and I get a 2% raise, that doesn't even beat inflation. Like, this is the kind of stuff people get thrown out. Like, no wonder these things are soul killing. 2% raise? What the hell is that? I hope my boss isn't mad at me. If you're tired of having to think things like that, living in fear of a boss because you know if that boss doesn't approve of you, you don't get your 2% raise, or maybe you even get fired and then you can't pay for your shitty apartment you're living in because that's all you can afford. Things like, I need that report done by the end of the day. Somebody telling you that. And you're just tired of people coming to you and telling you stuff like that. You know, I personally just cannot stand the idea of being managed and controlled. Like, I want to live my own life on my terms. If this kind of shit just pisses you off, social media manager event coordinator, this is a job I found on Indeed, offering for $50,000 per year. So after taxes in America, you're getting like $3,400 a month. And when you look at the requirements of this shit, and this is just a normal job out there. Every job is pretty much like this. It's just insane. You know, seriously, I said this before, the gall of these kinds of companies to offer these types of jobs. We basically own you for $50,000 a year. And if that shit just pisses you off, then this video is for you. If the idea that for $50,000 a year, which is like $3,400 a month after taxes, you have to work 10-hour shifts, weekends as needed, and they say you need 2 years of experience to even get the job. So this isn't even entry level. Like, what's the entry level? $35K per year? I mean, seriously, that's what it is. The average person in America makes $37,000 a year. It's ridiculous. And not only that, but the arrogance to demand these insane requirements. And this is what we see when you look in the job market, you know? This is why I can't do this shit, man. Like, seriously, I would be unmanageable in a corporate environment. I would get fired, HR complaint immediately. I'm telling you, I can't deal with it. It's because you see stuff like this. They want you to have a bachelor's degree, which is going to put you $100,000 in debt for this job that pays you $50,000 a year, and you don't even want the job, most likely. If this shit drives you nuts, 2 years required plus $100,000 in debt for the privilege of making $3,400 a month after taxes, and you gotta work 7 days a week as needed, 10-hour shifts. If that type of shit, if 2% raises, if all that kind of stuff just drives you insane and you've been looking for a way out of it, this is the video for you. I made this video for you. What if instead of all that though, you could work for yourself, make more money, and have more freedom than you have right now? Well, that is what motivated me to get on this path. And at this point, you know, I've pretty much accomplished that. I make great money. I work for myself. I control my time. I get to do what I want. Nobody's breathing down my neck trying to control me. You see pictures like this. This was from a trip I took earlier in 2024. I took this trip out to Arizona to visit a friend of mine. I didn't have to get permission to take the time off. I didn't have it come out of my 2 weeks of time off. I can take as much time off as I want. I went on the trip, did what I wanted. I pretty much got up and was like, all right, I feel like going. And I went a couple days later out to Arizona. I made money while I was there also. That's another perk of working for yourself rather than having to work for somebody else. And, you know, this isn't radical, right? I'm not trying to pitch you on, hey, everybody's going to have a Lamborghini and, you know, we're going to private jets and supermodels and all that type of shit. That's great. Like, I want that kind of stuff eventually, but I'm not going to sit here and tell you I'm there yet. I'm building up. I'll be there eventually. But even at this level, that's the motivating part. Even at this level that I'm at right now, just that ability to not have somebody breathing down your neck, telling you got to do shit, and you can just get up and go where you want to go when you want, and you've got the money to take care of it. It's a massive luxury. I wouldn't trade it for anything. You could not get me into some corporation for 6 figures. I'm making 6 figures now, but you could double my income, and I genuinely be like, I'm good. I'm staying where I'm at. I'll just keep building this thing. I enjoy having my freedom. And I do stuff like this. This is where I make my money. Just so you guys know, like I'm primarily a real estate agent. I also make money off this content. I'm planning to eventually start some digital businesses off of this YouTube channel. And I ain't gonna lie, guys, it's taken a long time to get here. I got on my entrepreneurship journey when I was, 20 years old. Here's a few different businesses I've tried to start. I put a book on Amazon. This Body of Your Dreams Club thing right here was one of my initial attempts to build an online business. It was a low ticket monthly fitness thing. It was like $10 a month. You got workouts. This right here, I started doing one-on-one fitness coaching, and this is just a couple different businesses I've tried. Most of them failed miserably. I've probably tried, 10 to 12 different offers before I landed on things that started to make me a little bit of money. And now I'm at the point where, I've got something that's really rolling, and I've started to really understand this game of business pretty good. But just, it's tough. It's hard. You figure things out. A lot of the reason that people struggle with entrepreneurship, you're going to find here in this video, it's really not that complicated. But a lot of the reason people struggle with it is because they keep getting sold BS information online. It's like everybody's trying to tell you it's their product. It's like, no, you need to try this thing. You need to, build this social media course. You need to be a drop shipper. You need to buy this personal branding course. It's this and this and this. This is the one path you need to take to get rich online. And it's just not the way it works. Like, it's not the product that's the issue. There's other factors that you don't understand, and that's why you're struggling to make money if you've ever tried to start your own business. I truthfully have gotten to the point where I've got the business game figured out enough to know that I can jump into any industry and make it work pretty quickly. I'm very confident in my abilities to be successful in business at this point. And it's because I got down to the core of what it takes to actually be successful in business, and it just clicked in my head. I was like, oh, this is not hard at all. It's very straightforward. You just have to understand a couple things, and we're going to get into them here in just a second. So what I'm going to do now is walk you through how you can quit your job and get the life that 99% of men wish they could have, which is that life of freedom, controlling your time, having purpose, making more money than average, just living the life everybody really wants. It's going to be pretty straightforward. So the first thing you got to understand here is mindset. And before everybody rolls their eyes, because people hate the mindset conversation, it's so important. This is the first part you got to understand about mindset. This is what the 9-to-5 person thinks about work. They view it as they work so that they can go live their lives. And there's this mental separation they have in their head. They view work and life as two separate things. They've got their work life and their personal life. They only go to work just so they can finance living the rest of their life. That's basically how the average person views it. That's why people want to work less hours. That's why this idea of the 4-day work week is so popular with, the broke employees out there. It's because they don't actually want to work. They just want the rewards of work. And so they're trying to limit as much time as they have to spend on work so that they can just go live their life, which in that case means just chilling. Because most people don't do shit. This idea of like, we want a 4-day work week, I think is so stupid because people are just going to go home and sit on the couch for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Right now they sit on the couch on Saturday and Sunday. They just want to add Friday into that. Like, get a life, guys. And so like, this is why I don't encourage the 4-day work week thing, because it's just a misunderstanding of the way the world actually works. But that's what the 9-to-5 person thinks. And you got to get this mindset out of your head. This idea that work is over here, life's over here. There's this separation, and I'm only going to work as little as possible to pay for living my life, basically. And that's how it's viewed. This is how you have to view it if you want to be an entrepreneur, if you want to be self-employed. It's a symbiotic thing. Work and life become symbiotic. Everything is just kind of flowing around itself. For example, I might work 12 hours on a Saturday, and then the next Saturday I don't work at all. I might work 12 hours on a Tuesday, and then the next Tuesday, I don't work at all. That's how it goes sometimes, right? You might have to work a crap ton one day, none the next, some the next day after that. It's kind of this thing, and what you're trying to do here is understand that you're living one life, not two. It's not that work's over here and life's over here. It's all happening together, and when you have that approach, you have this ability to get more out of your time, because if you're just trying to constantly work as little as possible, you're going to fail as an entrepreneur. You have to work a shit ton. I promise you. If you're a 9-to-5er, I'm working harder than you. Seriously, you're not working harder than me. I promise you. And the thing is, it's actually purposeful work for me, though, so it doesn't really bother me because I'm not trying to run from it. The 9-to-5 people, they view it as like, I work and then I live, because they don't like the work. There's no purpose. The only purpose is just so they can go live their lives. Whereas if you get to this point where work and life are symbiotic, it's because you're literally living to work and working to live. It's all coming together. You're doing things that you feel connected to. It's like you can see the immediate consequences of the work you're doing because it pays you. Whereas, like, when you're working a 9 to 5 and you can only get a 2% raise, like, no wonder that's depressing and you don't want to do it. It's like there's no reward for working hard. It's a 2% raise. Whereas I can work hard and I can triple my income. I can quadruple it, you know? The possibilities are limitless when you have unlimited cap on your income. You can make as much as you want if you just work hard. And so you have that energy to keep going. So rather than trying to have a work life and a personal life, you have one life that is entirely built around your goals. Life for the successful self-employed person or entrepreneur is about personal growth, not chilling. This is a point I really wanted to make. This is a mindset shift you have to have. 9 to 5 employees tend to view life as about chilling, is what I call it. They're like, I'm chilling, right? People just want to chill. You hit up your friends, hey, you want to chill, man? Like all this bullshit people do. That's how like normal people tend to view life, and it's this stupid peasant mindset that I just find really unappealing. They basically think the point of life is to sit around doing nothing. So they work so that they can go sit around doing nothing. And this is pretty much what they do. They turn the TV on. They're just chilling, man. Like, this shit's miserable. You're never going to look back and be proud of all that time you wasted on this shit. It's like, oh, we chilled. What is chilling anyways? It's sitting around scrolling on your phone with the TV on in the background with your friend in the room. That's like chilling for people. Like, that's what you want to remember your life for? It's embarrassing, honestly. And so, like, self-employed entrepreneurial people who are successful in life, it's a way of life. And that's why I say that the work and the lifestyle, it all comes together, because to be a successful entrepreneur, you have to be growth minded. You have to be getting better. You have to be pushing yourself. You can't be stagnant or you'll get beaten by other people. And so it becomes this way of life where everything's like that. For me, I'm pushing forward on all fronts. I'm trying to get better in my health, better in relationships, better in my career, learning new skills so I can start other businesses, do things. It's this constant growth mindset. How can I improve life? How can I max this thing out and get more out of it? I don't want to chill. Seriously, I put it right here. Chilling is for broke people. Because chilling is genuinely you just wasting your time. And so I find that disgusting. I hate laziness. And so I just want to get in here. If you want to be an entrepreneur, you have to get chilling out of your vocabulary. There is no chilling. Your new focus on life is personal growth. And personal growth includes entrepreneurial success. But the point is, if you're out there thinking the point of life is to do nothing, which I think most people genuinely do, they're like, how can I work out as little as possible to get a body? How can I work as little as possible to make some money? It's like constantly, how can I do as little as possible so I can go back to chilling? That's what most people think. And this is just a stupid mindset that's going to get you nowhere. You got to be pushing forward on all fronts, trying to get better. And once you get that into your head, you will just start pulling past everybody, because most people don't have this mindset. They're lazy. And if you get past that and you just start thinking life's about growth and getting better, then I promise you, you'll crush people just off that, no matter what else you do in life. You cannot be lazy and be an entrepreneur. There are no get-rich-quick schemes. I hate this get-rich-quick notion. It just makes sense. It makes no sense logically. Think about it. Everybody wants to make money. Everybody's constantly working to make money. What makes you think there is some path out there where it's just going to be easy for you and it's going to be quick and no work required? Like, the arrogance to think that's even possible. Seriously, like, you can only do that if you get lucky. There are easier ways and harder ways, but they're all challenging. And that's, again, why you have to get the growth mindset in your head. If you have this mindset that it needs to be easy and you just want to chill, you're going to get run over. You have no chance. And if you can't be honest with yourself and say, I'm ready to do hard stuff, then stay in your 9 to 5 job and stay broke, because you'll get wrecked over. I'm not, like I said, guys, this is not going to be the normal get-rich-quick scheme like kind of video where I try and pitch you on buying my course or some bullshit like that at the end of it, and I'm trying to tell you anybody can do it. I'm not. I know I'm a different breed. I know I work hard. I know I've got the mentality to do this. And some of you out there have it. Some of you will develop it. Some of you, you just need to be honest. You're not cut out for it. That's okay. This isn't the video for you. I'm talking to the G's out there. I'm talking about the guys who really want to crush it in life. They want the best in life. They can't stand the idea of having somebody pushing them around. That's who I'm talking to. I'm not talking to the people who want to go buy the next get-rich-quick scheme from whoever's shilling it today. Iman Godzi, you're going to buy his 5th social media marketing agency programmer, whatever the hell he's got for you now. You know, I'm not talking to those people. I'm talking to people who are really willing to do the work. The work is actually fulfilling, and that's the thing I also want to put here. Entrepreneurs replace an easy life for a life filled with purpose. I'd rather work hard and have purpose than just chill and have no purpose. I can't stand that word chilling. If you haven't figured that out yet, I hate that word. It's so, ugh. You just want to chill, man? I used to say that. When I'd hit my friend up, hey, you want to chill? I gotta slap the shit out of my younger self. It's embarrassing. Your relationship with failures and stress will determine your success as an entrepreneur. This is another mindset. Most people, their first reaction when they hit failure is to change course. As an entrepreneur, when you hit failure, you have to have a more intelligent approach to it, because failure could just mean not yet. Failure could mean you need to change this one little thing, but everything else makes sense. Most people, they run into a wall of failure and then they just completely change directions. I used to do this. When I started, this is one reason it took me a long time to find success as an entrepreneur. I would buy a course, I would try the thing that the guy told me to do in the course, it wouldn't work immediately, and then I just go find the next thing. When in reality, the course probably worked. Like the product, the like thing that I was going to make money off of probably worked. It's just I had to change this one thing, or I was missing one skill that I needed to acquire that would make the whole thing work, you know? Or maybe sometimes you just got to deal with rejection. But this is an important thing to understand. If you cannot handle failure, you will get destroyed in this game, because it's almost all failure. Even now, like 90% of the shit's failure. I'm kind of on a roll right now lately with my career, to be honest. It's really picking up. The YouTube channel's even like picking up. I mean, January is going to be my highest viewed month I've ever had. We're picking up still from there. Things are moving. Clearly, this new content style is really resonating with people. So like things are looking up, but even still, it's like most shit's a failure, and it's still a grind. It's still hard work, you know. And I promise you, like at some point here in the near future, I'll just get crushed by something hard will come along. And if you can't handle that, you can't handle stress, you're just gonna get run over. Stress is another one. If you think stress is bad, you're gonna get killed. This stress is a mindset thing. Stress can be good or bad depending on how you handle stress. Essentially, how do you interpret it? If you interpret it as stress bad, get away, then you're in trouble. Whereas if you view it as stress good, it's growth, I'm pushing, I'm getting better, then you'll thrive in it. You know, I've told this story a number of times. When I lived in Houston, Texas, I was running a business at the time. I was trying to get my YouTube channel full time. I had this coaching program I was running. It was making me a little bit of money, but it wasn't enough to live off of fully. And I ended up going homeless for a little bit. I lived in my friend's garage for a month and a half in the middle of the Houston summer. It was 80 plus degrees at night. I'm sweating. There's roaches on the floor. It was nasty. But I'm telling you guys, I thrived in that garage because my relationship with stress is good. I was like, okay, I'm about to eat right now. Like, let's get it. Like, I was in a zone. I was locked in. I barely slept for like a month and a half, and I was just locked in. I'm not saying I want to go back to it. I have no desire to, ever. I don't think that, I pray to God it doesn't happen again. But the point is, stress, if you have the right approach to it, it brings out the best in you. And you have to learn how to do that. And the way you do it is you see the challenge coming at you, and you just embrace it. You say, okay, like, this thing's not going to beat me. I'm going to beat it. You actually kind of have to, in a weird way, double down on the stress. Like, one thing that helps me with stress is when I'm in a stressful situation, I think, how can I make this more stressful? And I know that seems weird, but it does seem to make the stress, it's like it takes the stress as being out of control and makes it in your control, because now you've volunteered for more of it. It's kind of like, it's like if you're, you know, getting punished or something in the military or in gym class or something, let's say do 50 push-ups, and you're like, you know what, fuck it, I'll do 60. It's like this way of like owning the thing. It's like, no, I'm not just gonna do 50, I'll do 60. You think you're gonna get me? No, I'm gonna get you. It's that kind of mindset, and when you have that, then stress actually kind of flips on itself. So like, for example, I would be in that garage, and I would just fast for the day. I'd be like, you know what, I'm just not going to eat today. Fuck it. Like, we're just going harder here. I'd go work out, wouldn't eat, don't care. Like, I'm psycho, guys, to be honest, but like, it's the way you have to be if you really want to crush this thing. You got to have that mentality. So step 2 is understand first principles. I told you guys, this is probably not going to be your classic, you know, get rich, like, lifestyle kind of like video, because you probably don't know what understand first principles means. But we're going to cover that right now. It's so important to understand this. First principles are the fundamentals of a system that make it work. This is so important to understand. Fitness has first principles. What are the first principles of being in shape? Exercise, diet, sleep, breathing. Like, we can go down even more fundamental, truthfully. What are the first principles of living? You know, breathing, you know, you got to sleep, you got to eat, you got to exercise. First principles are understanding those base mechanisms that get the whole thing working. Most people, for example, if you've tried to follow a workout program before, that's not first principles, because you don't actually know why the program worked. So essentially, first principles is about understanding the mechanics of why things work. So like with the fitness example I just gave with the workout program, maybe the workout program tells you you're going to do bench press and you're going to do, you know, 4 sets of 8 to 12 reps. and you just do it because the program says to do it, which is good. You'll get results. But when you understand the first principles, you understand the reason you're doing 8 to 12 reps is that's the hypertrophic range, which is best for muscle growth. It probably has something about progressive overload on there. You're doing 4 sets because that's just kind of the optimal amount of sets that you need to do on a certain exercise. It's going to have a certain amount of sets that you're going to do in the exercise. Certain types of training have certain different principles, and that's why they'll be more effective. Like, for example, some people believe in volume training. Some people believe in high intensity training, where you just basically try and break down the muscle fibers as quickly as possible. And they believe that as long as you've torn the muscle fibers, that's it. You're good. You're going to grow muscle. So there's these different philosophies, but it all comes down to understanding that first principle, that the first principle of muscle or muscle growth, that is essentially you have to break down muscle and build it back bigger. And the way you do that is through training at a heavy weight. So you get what I'm saying. I'm talking about first principles. I'm not talking about bench press. I'm talking about the basics of breaking down muscle. And when you understand that, you don't need the bench press. You don't need the workout program. You can put it all together yourself. When the gyms closed during COVID, I got in better shape because I knew how to train. I knew the first principles of being in shape, and so losing the gym didn't stop me. The gym's just my preference of where I exercise at, but it doesn't have to be there because I know how to just exercise. I put Elon Musk on here because Elon Musk is the GOAT of first principles. I think he's the one who kind of popularized the term amongst the entrepreneur community. This is why he's so effective. He can run like 5 companies because he understands the fundamental building blocks of these companies and why the product works and where we can be more efficient, where we can make more profit, where we can deliver more results faster. And see, he's so good at this, understanding at the high points of leverage. And that comes from first principles, understanding at the core why something works. I'm sure there's something in your life where you're like this. It's a level of mastery. Like whatever job you've had for a while, you probably understand on some level the core elements that make it work. If you're, I don't know, it's like chemistry, right? You're a chemist. You understand oxygen is, it's whatever. It's a chemical molecule. See, I don't know chemistry. Water is H2O. Two hydrogens, one oxygen, or one hydrogen, 2 oxygens, something like that. You understand that everything comes from these building blocks. And if you put the building blocks in place, you get the result. That's first principle thinking. There are 2 first principles to making money, meaning 2 essential foundational pillars. This was a game changer for me to understand. This right here is when I realized I can go anywhere at any time and make money. I understand the first principles, and so I know how to fix it and make money if I'm not making it. And once you understand this, you'll realize why entrepreneurship's really, it's challenging, but it's really simple too at the same time. And when you understand how simple it is, it's like a sigh of relief. You're like, oh, I can do this. It's not a secret. It's not a magic thing. You don't need some special course. You just need to understand these first principles and have that mindset we already addressed. The first principles of making money are as follows. You have product or service and someone to buy it. That's it. You have those things and you will make money. No matter who you are, you just need a product or service to sell and someone willing to pay for it, and you can run a business. This might sound simple and obvious to you, but it's radical to understand because most people don't understand this. They're out there looking for the method to get rich. They're looking for the crypto that's going to pump. They're looking for the social media marketing agency. They're looking for the this, the that, the real estate arbitrage thing where they found some guy running a YouTube ads, promise them they can buy tax liens or something, Like they're always looking for this hack because they don't understand the first principles. It's like you can make money doing anything. You don't need the hack. As long as you've got something to sell to people and people who can buy it, then you will make money. Period. It's that simple. You're already doing this, by the way. Your job is your service, and your employer is the person willing to pay you. W-2 jobs are the same as business. A W-2 job is just a licensing agreement. This is some next level shit, but like a W-2 agreement essentially is the company is subscribing to your service. You are like Apple Music on a higher level. They're just paying you more, but it's the same thing. It's a subscription service that an employer is paying to get your services, and they've done it in this W-2 format because they want exclusive control over your labor rather than you having multiple different people you're doing this for, and then it comes with labor protection rights because that's just what we do in America, and a lot of countries with W-2 employees have labor protection rights. But it's the same thing. It's just it's a business. Your job is the service. The person paying you, which is the employer, is the second part of the second principles. You need somebody to pay for your service. Everything works like this. YouTube videos work this way. The product is this video. You are the customer. You're buying with your attention. You're not paying to watch this video, but you're paying with your attention. It's the same thing. I produced a product which you then paid for with your time. Makes sense. You get what I'm saying there. Real estate agent. I'm a real estate agent. The main way that I get money is like I have a client who is paying me for selling their home or for helping them close the deal on their dream house. They're doing one of those two things. And so that means that the product is my ability to close a deal, sell a house. The person buying it is that client. You get what I'm saying? The next one, music. Music's the same way. The entire music industry. Apple Music, you're paying for the service. The product service is the Apple Music, and then you are the one willing to pay for it. If it's a concert, it's the concert is the product, and you're willing to pay for it. It's even your choice of the music you listen to. The music's the product, and your attention, again, is the music you listen to, and that's your decision where you're going to put your time. The military-industrial complex, the same way. Raytheon, Lockheed Martin, all these companies, they bribe the U.S. government. The U.S. government buys the stuff from them, sends it over to Ukraine with all our tax dollars, yippee, all that good stuff. But in this case, rockets and guns and all this stuff, that's the product. The U.S. government is the customer, the one willing to buy it. You get what I'm saying? Everything works this way. So if you can get the mindset right and master first principles, you will make money. Straight up. It's not, and this is why I'm saying this is not hard. It's simple, it's challenging, but it's simple. Really, if your mind's focused correctly, you have the right mindset, and you understand those two first principles at a high level, you can do them well, then you'll make money. This is why I feel so confident in my ability to make money. I understand products pretty well, good enough, and I understand marketing. I would say I'm pretty exceptional at marketing. I'm not the best in the world, but I do understand it quite well. Every single YouTube video I put out is a form of marketing. The stuff I do to get real estate business is marketing. It's that principle of finding people who want to buy your stuff. That's what marketing is, and we're going to get into this stuff a little bit more here. So here's how you can apply this to your life, because you're probably like, okay, I get it, but how do I apply it? Step one is you need a product. You might be saying, I don't have a product. Most people are probably thinking that right now. Well, this is bullshit, and here's why it's bullshit. You're already getting paid to do something. Therefore, you have a product. Remember, your job is your product. So if you're working as a landscaper, you have a product. If you're working as a data analyst, you have a product. Everybody has a product out here, okay? 80% of you, probably more, already have a job you could do as a business, meaning you just stop doing it as a job and you work for yourself doing that same thing. And this is where people, they get caught up because they think they need the get rich quick scheme and the hack, and they're looking to buy this person's course so they can make money doing this thing. When I'm like, why? You already have something you're making money doing. Just figure out how to do it for yourself and you'll get paid more. Your employer pays you because they can make a profit off your labor. That is an important statement to understand, because if you can get paid $50,000 a year to do something for a company, then you can, hypothetically, you should be able to make more money doing it for yourself. Because like I said, if the employer's profiting off your labor, that means your employer is paying you less than they are making off of your labor. Because otherwise they couldn't afford to pay you. And so typically the way it works with these kinds of things, let's say again, you're a computer coder. You're working for this one company. You're doing all this stuff for them, whatever. They're paying you $70,000 a year. You stop working for that company, and then you have multiple clients. And when you add up the clients, you end up making more money than you did just working for this one company. It ends up being this win-win situation, too, because usually the company has to pay you less. Each company's paying you less than if they had you as a full-time employee, but you're getting more money as well. So it ends up being this win-win situation most of the time. But it's important to understand that if your employer pays you because they can profit off your labor, that means you already have a product that is valuable to the marketplace, or they would not be paying you for it. Therefore, you can just stop doing it for a company and do it for yourself. If you just do the work for yourself, you can get paid more for it. I mean, this is just, the sky's the limit. Instead of 2% raises and all this kind of crap, you can get paid a lot more. Now, are you going to get paid a lot more right off the bat? Maybe. It depends on how good you are at the next step I'm going to cover here. But the point is, like, you can certainly do it. This is why a lot of people do this. You know, I knew a guy, he was VP of merchandising for Lowe's Corporate. He quit working for them, started a company which did merchandising. He contracted the company out to Lowe's, and now instead of making 6 figures, he's making 7 figures. You get what I'm saying? Like, he runs his own company. I think he contracted to Lowe's and Home Depot, maybe a couple other companies. He's got like 5 big companies, and they're paying them these huge amounts of cash. So he took the skill he had he was working for a company with, did it for himself, got a few clients, he makes a crap ton more money. The rest of you have a skill that you can use for business, and if not, you can get one in 6 months. So if you're like, I don't know, you work at McDonald's, yeah, I mean, maybe you don't have a skill that you can start a business off of unless you can afford to get a food truck or something like that. But like, you can go get a skill pretty quickly. This stuff's not hard. Like, for example, Coursera right here. Coursera is a platform that teaches a bunch of different skills. It's got like companies like Google will go on there and teach you how to do jobs that Google wants employees for, and Google will certify you as having been proficient at that skill. Imagine you go on there and you learn social media marketing. It's going to cost you $50 a month to learn it. In 4 months, you can have the whole certificate done. You go out into the marketplace with the marketing skills you have. You go up to these boomers who have these, brick and mortar businesses. They don't even know what Facebook is. And you go up to them, tell them these ads, show them how they're going to make more money off it. And suddenly you're making money off this. That's just one example, right? There's tons of these things out there. I mean, I think guys should get into the real estate business, not as an agent necessarily, but 4/5 of the economy is built around real estate. So if you just go get into the real estate industry, you're around tons of opportunities, and they're mostly self-employed opportunities. Painters are self-employed, electricians self-employed, roofing people, like roof salesmen, your 1099s, you're sort of self-employed. The person who puts the septic tank in, like just go look around you're in a house right now. Everything you're seeing, somebody did that. The wall has paint on it, has drywall, has insulation. There's somebody who put the foundation, the support of the house up, the roof on top of the house, the carpet or the flooring, all this stuff. It's all businesses. It's all people who run these things who make money off them. Just look around. Like this idea that there's not stuff for you to make money off of is crap. And you can go get into these fields. In that case, you might have to go work for somebody and learn the skill for a little bit, but eventually you can go and work for yourself. That's how it usually works in these industries. I also put the dog on here because if at a minimum, guys, you have 2 hands and 2 legs, most likely. Go walk some dogs. I know a guy, he's a full-time dog walker. He makes more money than the average person, right? Can you walk a dog? Okay, so don't tell me you don't have a skill. That's a cope. That's you copping out and being lazy. You have a skill. Everybody's got skills. And if you don't, go learn one. I just showed you how you can do it. Real estate investing at Cornell. Go learn that. It's like $3,000 for a 6-month course, and you get certified. You can tell people you went to Cornell to learn real estate investing. Step 2 is marketing. Marketing is the second half of the first principles, which is people buying your stuff. Marketing is about getting in front of people who will buy your thing. Obviously, you need people to buy your stuff. That's what marketing is all about. We have a product now at this point. Now we need to get people to buy it. Here's ways you can market. This is just off the top of my head. I wrote a few down. You can use social media. You can pay for ads. You can door knock. You can network, meaning just go meet people, collaborate. Real estate's a big business for this. It's relationship business. Cold calling, emailing, affiliates, billboards, referrals, meaning like you've had a past client who refers you business, signs, like you put signs out. Sometimes I'll drive around and see something like "We buy houses cash." That's marketing. Direct mail, you send out flyers, letters, things like that. This is all forms of marketing. So the point is there's tons of options out there, and this is just off the top of my head. This isn't all of them. Now pick one of these and stick with it until it works. This is a big thing to understand. Most people, they go out there, they try posting one thing on social media and they say it didn't work, and then they just go on to the next thing or they give up, and it's such a stupid mindset. Guys, I've posted like 800 videos on YouTube, and it was like the first 750 I didn't even know what I was doing. Seriously. Like now I kind of get it, but like it takes a while to get good at this stuff. The arrogance to think you can put out one piece of content or send out one letter and get nothing out of it. Like for example, last year I spent $1,400 on sending out marketing materials to a neighborhood that I wanted to sell some houses in. And you know what I got out of it? Nothing. Now, does that mean that sending out mail doesn't work? No, it just means I did it wrong because I'd never done it before and I didn't know how to do it, and I was missing some piece. I don't even know what the piece was, but clearly I was missing something. And that's kind of part of the game of entrepreneurship, truthfully, too, is like you're messing up, you're trying things, it's not working out, and you're trying to figure out like, okay, what did I do wrong? How can I fix this thing and get the system working? But my point is, like, that's the game, right? And if you are deterred by that, again, I mentioned earlier, if your relationship with failure is going to determine if you can do this or not. If you're deterred by things not working out quickly enough, you're gonna quit. So just pick one of these and stick with it till it works, because I promise you they all work, because businesses are using them. So just pick the one you like, get better at it, and eventually it'll work for you. This is an important thing to understand too. Entrepreneurs get paid for solutions, not time. This is an important part of marketing. 9 to 5 employees, they think as if time is what they're paid for. You're not getting paid for your time. You're getting paid to solve a problem. That's what we're doing here. And this entrepreneurs are very aware of this. Whereas 9 to 5 employees are kind of detached from this reality. They think they're paid for the 40-hour work week. You're not paid for the 40-hour work week. They're not paying you just for your time, for breathing. They're paying you to do something for them, to solve a problem. Entrepreneurs just understand this more deeply. And this is an important concept of marketing because whatever your product is that you've decided, the next thing is you need to ask what problem is your product or service solving, and that's how you market. You need to understand this so you can market effectively. If you don't know what problem you're solving, nobody's going to buy from you. So you pick a product. Okay, I'm going to walk dogs. What problem is that solving? Somebody doesn't have time to walk their dog in the morning. Okay, so you solve the time issue for somebody. You're picking up the poop for them so they don't have to, right? It's this convenience factor. That's the problem you're solving. You're a computer programmer. What are you solving? Somebody doesn't have a website. They need one. They know they're losing business off of not having a website. You can solve that problem. I'm a real estate agent. What problem am I solving? First-time home buyers don't know what the heck to do when they're buying a house. People selling their house, they don't know how to sell it for the most money. They think they do. That's the for sale by owner thing, but they never get the results they want because they don't know what they're doing. Understand what problem your product or service is solving. This is essential to marketing because otherwise you can't talk to the right people and you can't pitch your services to them. In order to have somebody willing to buy your product, that second part of the first principles, you got to have a problem that you're solving for them. Get it? So get good at these two things and you win. Seriously, that's it. If you're good at product and you're good at marketing, you will win. You'll make money, period. There are literally people out there who are just good marketers. You've seen a bunch of them running ads on social media. They're just good marketers and they make 30 million bucks a year. Seriously, it's a skill that's crazy. Product, Apple, the iPhone is an amazing product. Apple doesn't even really need to run ads and people are going to keep buying iPhones. You know what I'm saying? It's just because the product blows people away. Well, maybe at this point it's not as quality, but back when it first came out, when Steve Jobs made it, it's like that thing was so incredible, they didn't need an ad. Everyone was going to buy it. That's the power of being good at product. So you get what I'm saying? You have a great product, you're great at marketing, you will get rich. Seriously. It's that simple. Now, there will be lots of things that you have to learn and overcome. And this is the part where everybody's saying, well, what about this? What about that? It can't be that simple. I said it's simple, but it's challenging. The challenge is all the little things you're going to mess up along the way where you have to figure this stuff out, like just stuff you couldn't imagine, things you're going to have to improve at. It's a whole process, and this is why I said the mindset of an entrepreneur, you have to be growth-minded. You cannot be thinking about chilling. It's not chilling. It's not a lifestyle for the person who just wants to chill. It's a lifestyle for people who want to be great, okay? You have to get used to it. But it all comes down to that stuff I've already told you. And here's the only tip to that for getting over the challenges quicker and the obstacles and the things you're going to run into is get a mentor. And like I said, I don't have anything to sell you. So I'm not going to try and be your mentor. I'm not trying to get you to buy a course. But I'm saying whatever you pick as a product, you would be wise to find a mentor who can tell you how to do it successfully from the beginning so you don't waste like years of your life failing. It's a nice thing. Even if you got to pay them, I'm telling you it's worth the money. And the last thing I'll tell you at this point, guys, you should be life maxing if you want a good life. And what do I mean by that? Well, entrepreneurship is a form of life maxing to me. Life maxing is about making every moment count. Like, we ain't chilling out here. It's about spending your time on things that you'll be glad you did, remembering that kind of life. And if this idea of life maxing, going on trips, doing work that you're passionate about, making money, doing cool things, great friendships, great experiences, great dates, all that kind of stuff, if that really resonates with you, click on the video you're going to see on screen and you're going to get my full guide to how to start life maxing, how you can use your money to max out your experience of life rather than just doing the basic normal thing everybody else does. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll talk to you later.